be gathering here to find out about photo services online. Anybody here by mistake? Thinking it was something else? Okay, I'd like to find out what you thought you came to. What did you think it meant, photo services online? Yeah.
One of the things I was hoping I'd learn is how to create those books that my sister created.
Okay.
Your pictures from vacation and you want to
Good.
make a book instead of having to copy them and put them in an album.
Yeah, all right, making photo books, yeah?
I do a calendar for my family, and I'm trying to find an online service that lets me put more than 3 pictures on a page. It's less than
Okay.
researched it. I think that was like the max I could find, and we put like 8 or 10 different sizes.
Making calendars and options for customizing the pages, okay?
I have sent them online, but I can't figure out how to do very much editing. Like,
Okay.
do you, before you send it, do you do it at, there?
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
No cropping it.
All right, anybody wanted to find a place to share photos with people? That too? Okay. How about storing your photos someplace other than your own computer? That too?
Well, you know, my mother doesn't have a computer. And she bitches and complains that over the last 15 years, she hasn't gotten any photos since I've been digital for about that amount of time. And it's a pain in the to then have to go down and physically print out prints,
Okay.
you know, of things that I have and then schlep them. But so I guess there's a lot of different things that I can just simply say, print this, and ship it to her.
Exactly. I was going to say, just mail them right to her.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so I'm just
All right.
thinking about which one of these. I mean, I use Picasa as just my editor, but I don't know if Picasa also has a, you know,
Web album.
a thing that.
Well, I'm going to be speaking to you from a non authoritative position. Myself, I print my own stuff and send it to family, and so that's another option to think about when you're considering the online services. Is printing it yourself cheaper? Well, cost may not be the whole thing. Sometimes it's more
easier for
convenient.
My mom. See,
Yeah.
everybody else in the family has, you know, we just send digital photos back and forth from each other.
It's not necessarily cheaper either. 'Cause I just
It
ordered
may not
several
be.
5
It
by
may not
7s
be.
and
Yeah.
4 by 6s from Walmart, and the whole order came to $3.27, which included shipping.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way ink would cost more than that.
Depending on your
And the
printer,
paper
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have brought up a couple of websites that review some of the different online photo aspects. The one that's up right now deals with printing services. And it gives 10 for this page, and there's another 6 on the next page if you go to next. So it gives you the top 16 that they ranked for you. And it appears that the best for this, according to not only this website but some others, is one called Snapfish. Anybody heard of Snapfish?
I just bought a new HP printer, and it's got Snapfish actually installed
Oh yeah,
on it itself.
yeah.
So I guess I can just pop in the USB
Yep.
with whatever photos and just on the on-screen menu and.
Sounds like it. I haven't heard of that feature, so I don't know for sure. Okay, as you scroll this page, they, of course, at the top, they give you how much per print it costs for a 4x6. And as you research them further, you'll see that the one that's cheapest for 4x6 is not necessarily cheapest for 8x10 and stuff like that. So depending on what you want to print, and if you're just thinking about cost only, it could be different service you'd want to use for your purpose. But as you scroll down further, it shows you what different features the sites have. And we won't, I'm not going to go over each one, but the paper you can print on choices, and whether you can edit the photos through their interface or not, whether they make albums or just prints and different stuff like that, shipping costs, how long it takes them, and their ranking is based on a bunch of these different things, but mainly the quality of the prints you get and the ease of the use of the website and the customer service support if you have any trouble with your order, or whether it's placing the order or getting the product from them. Those different things they take into consideration, and that's how they have ranked these different services. Has anybody had any experience with any of these?
I've done Sam's.
You've used Sam's? Okay. Sam's Club has the cheapest prices on a lot of their products.
I just used Walmart.
Walmart,
I use Walgreens and Walmart.
Walgreens. I've heard,
I've used Snapfish in the past. I was proud of it.
yeah. Nick Greenup, who used to work in our area, used Walgreens quite a bit and liked what he got. If I remember correctly in my research, the ones further down the line here, the print quality was a little bit lower. Typically, the ones with the lowest price tag are the lowest quality prints. So depending on what your priority is, whether you want good quality or cheap price, you kind of decide which one to use based on that. So that's printing services. Now then there's photo sharing, and the same site rates different services for sharing your photos. And there's some overlap between companies. Some of the companies that you can have print stuff also are good for sharing photos and for storing and stuff like that. But again, same basic layout. They give you some pricing and a list of the different features. You can compare who has what that you need. Has anybody used any of these?
I've used
Photo Bucket,
and
Flickr?
Webshots, but I haven't done
What
any
shots?
printing from them. Photo
Okay.
sharing, yeah.
Let me see Picasso.
I like them both.
Is it not?
Yeah, Picasa I don't think is in the list, and I don't know if that's
Casa
because
does have a web,
there's only one other on
there's
this.
Casa web albums, because that's what I
Right,
just
yeah.
used. And my father refused to go see the pictures because he had to then get a Google account.
Right.
And thought that he had then, and create a profile which everybody in the world would be able to see. And I'm thinking, Dad, you can leave the profile completely blank.
Right.
And you can set it so that nobody can see it except who you invite, and so now I have to burn the darn disc
Yeah.
and send it to him.
So,
Yeah.
Photo Bucket and Flickr you don't have to create an account for people to
I don't know.
see, or?
Flickr?
No, I found Flickr through a friend who did have an account, and she just sent out links and I could just go in and look. But I liked what she was working with, so I opened an account myself, but I didn't
Yeah.
have to. And Webshots, well, since American Greeting bought it out, it's a lot more commercial, but it used to be really, really simple to use, but you do have to have an account for that.
Well, I'd like for them to be invite only. I don't like putting out pictures of my kids that have people
Yeah.
traipsing around looking at them, and I don't know, it just
Yeah.
kind
Yeah, you have
of feels
to-
creepy to me.
Yeah, you have to make it private. Well, it actually defaults to private, I think.
Okay.
And they send you these notices, hey, don't you want to share your photos with everybody? So I just quit using it because they bugged me too much. But I like Flickr.
It says price per year, does that mean you have to buy into that, like to use it, you have to spend $24.95 a year?
If you want the full-featured
Featured.
version.
I don't pay for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But there's a
I
free
just
one.
have a real basic account. This is free.
Yeah. Okay, then this same website, I forgot to load it in here, has a list ranking photo albums. See if this, I can enter this address quick enough here. It's photo book review. So all I have to do is put book in here. And so if you wanted to print those books to send to your relatives, then here's a list of companies that do that, ranked in the order this site feels is best. Now, you may not agree with this site. It's just some people giving their opinion. But you'll notice that there are different companies up here than on the others. So if a photo book is what you want to do and you'd like it to be as nice as possible, you might consider some of these companies versus those in the other lists, which I believe a lot of them have the photo book option as well. Okay, I made some handouts. I did not think this gathering would be so big, so I only have like 10. And what I have in this handout is, let's see, we're going to not let Tracy have one because she can get
And
one
we
from
will
me
put
later.
these out. Does everybody know where the EdTech Center blog lives now? Blogs.jccc.edu. Go to the EdTech Center one, there's a
Kathy
brown
can
bag
copy it.
tab,
Yeah,
and it'll all
we'll
be out
copy it.
there. The video that's being shot will be out there too.
So in this handout, I've provided links to most of the easy to find places, and I printed out some of these, not this last one, because this one I just found end of the day yesterday, and so when I printed the others earlier in the day, I didn't know about this one, or I might have included it. So with the link to these reviews, links to them are in the handout. So, but if you don't want to go to the review site, I've printed out the reviews to make it easier to view them. Okay. Really, that's about all I can tell you about this stuff. I would encourage anybody that has any warnings, any experience, to share with others right now. Anybody had a bad experience, good experience, want to make a referral or warn somebody against anything? No?
Well, I will second what I heard someone say up there. I have the same issue when I try to get, like if I want to use Shutterfly and upload pictures, if they feel like they have to open an account to see them, even if they don't have to, it confuses older people, a lot of them,
Right.
especially if they're in their 80s.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I end up doing the same thing, burning discs.
Yeah.
They know how to slip that disc in and let it open.
Well, Dad wanted, he says, just do the old-fashioned way and attach them to an email.
Well, you can't do
And I
that.
said, I have 29 high-res photos. I'd have to attach them to like 10 different emails to get them all to you.
Yeah.
So
Well, that has happened.
my mother's probably very unhappy because they haven't seen her pictures yet.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing I might mention, I don't know if anybody's interested in digitally archiving their old non-digital photos. A lot of these services will take your physical photographs. If you want to mail them to them, they'll scan them and digitize them for you.
I did.
So that's another aspect of their services.
What about, I've always wanted to go through my photos and tag them so that if I'm looking for a specific person or something, I can search. But I've always been afraid to do it because if it's on my local machine and something happens, then I've lost all of those tags. you know, unless it adds it to the metadata of the photo.
I don't know.
Has anybody done that?
Yeah. One of the Picasa 3, one of the things that it does is face recognition.
Right.
So when you upload all your photos, it then also does face recognition of every single one of those photos and then throws them all. So now you can just click on your mother and every picture of your mother displays.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's why I was like Google.
That's an interesting new feature.
They probably can't track the kids though, from baby to. 'cause they
Well,
look
what's
different.
interesting is it is pretty slick using this face recognition software. I mean, you know, I got you know, the grandchild, and it's, you know, from both infant now to about 18 months, and it recognizes, you know,
So now I was
and
aware.
also does interesting things that it then starts showing all your family, really, because sometimes you might have a photo that's not all that clear, and then it'll show you, your uncle, and
Trying
your
to figure it
dad,
out.
you know, saying that, well, these are all in the same profile, could you select who's who? But,
I
but
was
that's.
aware of the face recognition. I did not realize it was as advanced as you said. It would recognize who was in the photo. I knew
Not
that.
just someone is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it puts it, then you have to, like, you know, you then type in who that is. So,
Yeah.
Or select them from a list, or select them from a list like in Facebook.
Well, yeah, if you have things like that. But the problem is as Tracy said, is that, you know, I had it on my my old machine, and then of course when I got my new Windows 7 machine, you know, I had basically it still went into the file and looked at the photos, but it did the whole facial recognition thing all over again. So I don't know if there's any way, as Tracy says, to capture that metadata
Right, 'cause there's some.
and when you transfer, because you know the Windows 7 migration tool, which is pretty slick, did go in and catch all the metadata in all the Windows applications and all. So that when I went to the 7 upgrade, all of that information was carried over when it went through that, but not for the Picasa.
Right, see, and I looked at some of the photo album things where you could, you know, you could tag them by date and by place and who's in them, and, you know, and I'd love to cross-tag them all, so no matter how you're looking for your photos, you can find what you're looking for, but, you know, if that information is stored separately on the hard drive and something happens to your drive, or you upgrade, does it go
Yeah.
with it, you know,
That
I
sounds
do not wanna
like-
do it more than once, that's.
Yeah, and I don't know, like in iTunes, you know, all that metadata is all in separate files. So if you change machine, if you just simply copy your iTunes folder with all those
Right.
XML files over there, then it automatically reads it on. So I don't know if,
Yeah. That would
if that
be-
was there and I just didn't see it when I was.
Another reason to consider storing your photos up in one of these areas, no matter what happens to your computer, all of the information you have associated with your photos in this off-site location is still intact.
Yeah, what's the, I mean, I know that they can't give you unlimited storage space. Sooner or later, there's a certain amount of space that they're gonna have to charge you.
I don't remember exactly. I noticed that most of them were something like a gig of storage space for free,
Right.
and then
After that, it's.
you could pay for more.
Right,
Yeah. Some of them I seem to recall said unlimited,
yeah.
but I can't say for sure that those were free. There was,
Yeah.
I think, maybe a.
And the Windows Live space, I think, is five gigs.
Yeah, and
But that's for everything, documents and.
yeah, if we talk about general file storage
Right.
in the cloud,
Right.
there are a lot of other options for that, but these companies would be photo-centric sites that would be giving you features that were handy for storing photos. Anything else? Yeah?
Anybody know about a place where family members could share, so we could have, you know, a Flickr account or something, and then that would do the calendaring, being able to take from all the shared photos and put, and like I say, what I found before was I couldn't find a calendar that would take more than 2 or 3 pictures per page per month.
Yeah, I'd recommend you look at some of these sites that you may have not checked before. And on the handout, if you got a copy, there's a longer list of places there than are in the reviews. Because I think I have like 30 different sites, and they only review 16. So you can look through those and see what features they have, whether calendar is an option, whether when you customize your calendar you can choose more than 3. I don't have experience with that, so I can't say. But I think that there may be some in there. Snapfish, another reason it's high on the list, why it's number 1, is because it's feature rich. It has a lot of different features.
Such as?
Photo editing, the different options for printing, and it's apparently pretty easy to use. You know, when it comes to photo editing, you probably want to deal with red eye. A lot of flash photography causes red eye, and color balance may be off. And then sometimes you might want a custom photo with an antique look. You know, the sepia tones, or a lot of them have those kind of features. They can turn your photos into oil paintings and different looks like that.
That's good. Canvas on Demand, I've used them, but I don't think that they're like wide open for lots of options.
Yeah.
But I've used them and they do really good work for what they do, stretching across canvas. It's really nice.
Did anybody have any questions they were hoping to have answered?
Yeah, I was looking for some of those, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a group, I think. When you take pictures 7, 8 at a time, you want to keep 2. Bring them all up to see which one, well, that's different angles, a little bit.
Like a light box view, sort of? You get a bunch of photos open at once?
Yeah.
Is that what
And
you're
you
talking
take
about?
turns, look
Side
at
by
them,
side.
yeah. Because you take a video camera, you just keep shooting a bunch of them at a time.
Yeah.
So maybe 10 of them at a time, and you go to another place, take another 10. You don't want to keep them all, it's all pretty much similar.
Uh-huh.
And how do they compare? Okay, this one have a better shot. That shot, recommend you to keep this one.
Yeah, I think
What
that
kind of
if you tried one of these services, when you uploaded them, uploaded all your photos from your camera to the site, then you can compare your photos in their
Normally,
display.
It's like you bring one up and take a look at it, put it down. Put another one up.
Yeah.
Is that one better or this one?
Yeah, which one was it?
I would like to see 4 or 5 in the one screen.
Yeah.
Up on this one, bring up on this one, and you click this one, delete, click this one, keep.
Yeah. I'm afraid I don't know which ones would be best for that. You might try and check.
I don't know which ones are best, but just on my computer, I just upload into Windows. And that's the way I see them, the whole, if I've got 200, it's just, I see a picture of thumbnails of 200 pictures.
Right,
So
you want them big next to
those
each
thumb-
other.
Up at the top, you can choose
No,
the
no,
size
all
of the
something
picture.
else. Full size.
those thumbnails, as big as you can make them, are still smaller than.
You have 2, 3 people in that, 2, 3 on this one. Which one?
But if you actually have
Who's
it on
smiling
your
and who's got
drive, you
their eyes
can
up?
open a preview of 2 different ones, and that'll be in 2 different windows that you can then stick side by side. I've done that,
Is
but
that
not
the
from online,
best
just on
Windows?
my computer, you know, if it's on my local computer.
Yeah, you could use the Windows Preview window
That's true.
twice at the same time.
Okay.
Or more.
Just make them so they don't overlap, and then you'll have them side by side. That could work.
It's still.
It's still
A lot of clicking. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
I'm trying to think if there was something that used to be able to make stacks. So you could take all the ones that were similar and make a stack of it, so that you'd end up with, you know, these 10 are similar, and these 5, and these 3, you know, and then you could go through each stack. But I don't know if that was, I think that was a
If you
professional
have
app.
Adobe
Yeah.
Creative Suite, I don't know if you have that, but
Do
that'd
that
be
bridge
handy.
or.
Yeah, ask Keith Krieger. There's a lot of those.
He might be a good
Yeah.
good guy to ask
Michael,
that.
how extensive is Picasso's?
Picasa's free, it's Google, you just, yeah, you just download it from Google, you can just Google Picasa and then it'll give you the link to it. And if you already have a Google account, you just sign in through your Google account.
And it's Picasa.
Picasa, yeah.
With an A on the end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a link to it on the
Okay.
handout.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
It's a good desktop viewer and editor for your photos. And then, as I said, you can then upload whichever ones that you want specifically, I guess, up to the cloud for then either sharing or viewing. And of course, if you have Windows 7, Microsoft Live also has all that ability as well. And that way, you know, if you have your Windows phone or whatever, you can just upload and download. If you're taking photos with your, you know, your phone, because a lot of the newer phones, pixels are actually quite, in fact, the pixels on this are higher than my digital, you know, thing that I bought about 5 years ago.
yeah.
And there are a lot of applications that allow you to do a lot of editing on your phone as well before you then upload it to whatever cloud service, you know, that you have.
Yeah. Okay, so for those who didn't get a handout, you just email me, Davy Jones, djones16@gcc.edu. I'll get you a copy, and there will be some printed in the EdTech Center if you want to swing by and get a copy that way.
And a link to our blog.
And Tracy
There
will
will
help
be.
me
I will
be
help
sure and
Davey
get the
put the
blog
link on
put
it.
together. All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you.